Hey everybody, here we are again, and it's a Young's American Pale Ale. Here to talk about it. Show you the box. It's one of the Young's all malt kits. See that side, you can see the back. There's some bump on that side, some tasting notes on here. Won't look at them yet. There's also a bit cut out of the lid, because it comes with one of the coasters that you can put on your fermenter, put on your barrel so you know what's in there, and then you've got a beer mat for later when you're finished with it. In the box there was a 3 kilo pouch of pre-hopped malt extract. Contains barley. Yeah, as it should do. Obviously nothing in that now, because I brewed it. It does still smell of malt and a slight hoppiness. It also came with 50 grams of hot pellets American Pale Ale that I've already used, obviously. I did a dry hop. Yeah, still smells hoppy. Came with a 15 gram pack of beer yeast, US West Coast. Didn't use that. I reused my SO4 yeast as usual. It's just a standard baseline. I like the SO4 because it clears. Top of the pouch. It also came, which I've also not used, priming sugar. Possibly about 50 grams maybe of priming sugar. I didn't use it. I used 10 grams of standard table sugar. It also came with an unspecified amount of Young's brewing sugar. 500 grams or so. A 3.6 kilo kit, so that would work out. 3 kilos, 3.1, maybe not. Came with some instructions, didn't even look at them. And that's about it for the box. It does say on the side of the box 5.6 ABV approx. But you're using at least, or you would be, I didn't. You say it's 500 grams? Probably 500 grams, so 3.6 kilos would be about right. That must be about 100 grams. So about 3.6 kilos, 5.6 ABV. But mine didn't come out at 5.6 ABV because I didn't use the extra brewing sugar. So mine is an all malt kit. Technically, if you use the brewing sugar to bump the alcohol up, it's not an all malt kit because you're putting sugar into it. Just as if you put sugar into a mash. If you add sugar to a brew that you would do from the mash, it's not an all malt mash then, is it? You're putting sugar in it. Just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, Young's American Pale Ale. Starting gravity was 1.046 at 18 degrees C. it would have been probably, if I'd added that sugar, about 1.056. Dry hopped it for about 3 days, two and a half days. Finishing gravity was 1.014 at 18 degrees C, so no need to faff with the figures because 18 and 18. ABV came out at a rather nice but approximate 4.347826% alcohol by volume. Price of the kit was £29.95. So right up there as a pricey kit. It still gives you price per pint of 74.875 pence per pint. So still cheap, innit? It's still cheap for something that is very like what you get in the pub. Quarter of the price. So let's have a bit of a look at it. It is maybe not polished clear, but it's crystal clear. No, it's clear, but it's not crystal clear, isn't that? There's a touch of a haze to it. Light golden colour. Pale golden. Flash it with a torch, you can definitely see there's a bit of a haze in there. But you can see through it, it's not that hazy. Let's give it a little bit of a snifter. I am getting a fruitiness on the nose. It's not citrusy, but it's not far off. There is a touch of pale sort of malt notes. It smells like beer. Let's give it a whirl. Right up front, there's a very hint of sweetness. But it's rapidly taken over by... no, there's a maltiness kicks in. Yeah, a little bit of sweetness, maltiness. I'd say almost a biscuit note. And then there's a bitterness that takes over. Just leave it there for the flavours to develop. And then there's a definite biscuity note coming in. Gentle, only gentle. And that, it dies off and you're left with a pleasant dry bittering towards the end. That, I was not looking forward to it because a lot of these American Pale Ales, American IPAs, New England IPAs are heavily on the citrus, but that isn't. When I first tried it, and still now, there is a flavour that I struggled to pick out. Just about there. It's a but it doesn't last long. It's like a fruity, it's almost like a perfume. I was thinking it was almost like Parma Violets. So, a flowery fruitiness. And I couldn't quite, although it sort of, Parma Violets sprang to mind, I didn't think it was. So I had a look on the box. Sneaky peek on the box. See if there were any tasting notes. And there are. The look. Pours bright copper off white head. I didn't mention that. You can get a head, but it doesn't keep it. Certainly retains a ring. Not always a cap. Doesn't produce a right lot of lacing on the glass. Begins with sweet caramel. Well, there was a sweetness that I picked out. And light malty aromas. This is actually aromas. I don't really get the sweet caramel, do I? If you mention it, just about. I got my light malt aromas, flooded with punchy, ripe nectarines and subtle flavours, or subtle tones of strawberry jam. I don't really get the strawberry jam, but that was actually in the aroma, but it does sort of bleed through, and I realised the ripe nectarine, definitely, that's the subtle flavour that there is. Yeah. Doesn't last long. There's a lot of bitterness that overmasks it. Flavour wise, beautiful sweet malty flavours backed up by vibrant hop character, bursting with intense and juicy nectarines. Intense and juicy nectarines. I wouldn't say intense and juicy nectarines. A subtleness of nectarine. Perfectly balanced, light and very refreshing. Perfectly balanced. Not badly balanced, actually. You do get all the flavours. There's even a... I've just detected that now. There's an earthiness at some point. Certainly starts kicking in now. There's an earthiness towards the back end and the bittering that lasts throughout. That is a good beer. I like that. Would have made again. Yes. I must not have bought it before because it's not laminated. The sharp-eyed amongst you will go, "Oh, you've laminated that. That must be a good one." That is a good one. If I have bought it before, I've not reviewed it before, and I've not laminated it, so I think that's going to the laminator. That's a good beer. I like that. A little bit on the pricey side, but still a lot cheaper than going to the pub. For a beer, definitely pub standard that. Even looking at it. Right. Like, comment and subscribe. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.